Oh, pretty good. How you been?
Good.
Good.
Uneventful year for you.
Yeah. Fun year. Fun year. Got a chance to win 10. What y'all want to talk about?
It's been a while since we've talked to you. Talk about the transition at quarterback and what you went through with losing a guy that had been here for a while and having to have Connor be the guy.
Well, Connor played a little bit, and he's been here a while and taken a lot of reps. So, I think going into the season, finally felt like for the first time since I've been here anyway that we actually had two guys that could play and were ready to play, which was kind of a unique situation because the years before we didn't. It was almost like we just prayed not to have an injury. But Connor, had a great summer and a great off season, so we felt like, no matter what, he was gonna have a chance to play for us this year anyway. So, when the change was made, he went in and he's played very well. So, you never know what's going to happen during the season. So, he's always got to be ready to play. Backup quarterback's always one injury away and got to be ready to go. So, I know Connor started that first game or whatever, then we went back to Stephen, and then all the things happened, and now you got Connor playing. So, I'm proud of him. He's done well for a youngster.
Well, you talked to Stephen since he left and kept in contact with him?
I have, yeah. I shoot, we text back and forth occasionally. Yeah, he's doing fine.
What was your reaction when you first told Stephen had been dismissed?
Well, it's disappointing. Disappointing and all that. You spend, a lot of time with somebody and then all that. And something like that happens, it's a little disappointing, obviously. But, wish him well and you move on. Connor's, you don't recruit somebody to not play. So, you move on and that's what we've done.
Is there any question Stephen could come back on Saturday in any kind of capacity?
I don't know anything about that.
In terms of the NCAA and the Sam Foundation, you feel good about what went on there? I know you've known those guys for a long time. Is that all?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah. That'll happen.
Were you surprised when Demir got suspended for 4 games by the NCAA?
Sure. That's their stuff there. I'm not going to comment on any of that stuff at all right now.
It seems like Clemson has had some struggles this year as far as a mobile quarterback. Have you guys been able to see why that's been effective against them?
Well, they had, Maryland had some yards, and of course Georgia Tech always, their quarterback always going to get some yards, and that's their system and what they do. Connor obviously gives us, something there in our run game. Stephen had his games when he's actually, had run for some. So, the quarterback run's been good to us, and it's been something that's really helped our offense, and gives us some balance when we struggle to throw a little bit. Hopefully Connor will continue to do what he's been doing, which is, make some plays with his feet and his arm.
Is there something about that zone read that we don't, or how much about that zone read do we not appreciate because we just don't know it well enough?
Well, it's in essence it's triple option football, but it's from the gun, and unlike the traditional what you see out of Georgia Tech and Navy and Citadel even last week, the traditional, triple option football, it's a little different. It gives you some, ability to throw out of it, and what sometimes doesn't necessarily look like triple option, technically it really is, when you have some screens built in and things of that nature. But, when you have a guy that can make decisions, and in that game it takes some intelligence and reading things, and Connor does it very, very well. It's something he did in high school too, and was very good at, so he's comfortable with it.
In terms of the offseason, the arrest, did you feel okay about the way that was handled by the university and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. Made a mistake, we moved on, I made one mistakes all the time. My daughter, I made her eggs the other week instead of pancakes. She got all over me. So, you make mistakes and you move on and learn from them. So,
did the incident change your relationship with Stephen at all, or did you feel like it had any impact on the decisions he made?
No, not at all. Not at all. Through the years, the teachers, the mentors, the people that have had the most effect on me are guys that taught from experiences, good and bad. Those are the guys that I found them the most honest and the most effective with me, and because I thought they were honest, and weren't trying to hide something and be somebody they're not. So, talked about it with Stephen, and again we moved on, but it had no effect on our relationship.
Were you guys hoping that maybe that that maybe it would be a little more productive this year in terms of catching the ball, or can bring more to the
Sure.
offense?
I mean,
He's got
well,
one
you
catch, I
hope.
guess.
You know, he had such a good preseason.
Yeah,
You know, he did.
right,
He
yeah.
caught the ball beautifully in preseason, and then you kind of lose a little steam. You know, you get a 4-game, deal, and you miss some time. You know you're not going to play, so then all of a sudden you don't get as many reps, and then just hadn't quite gotten it cranked back up. But Demir's going to be fine.
Since it's been a while since we talked to you, talk about Tanner's development over the last 3-4 months since we talked to you last.
It looks pretty good. He's done a great job on the scout team. All those guys have said, that he's done a good job. And, we've gotten some chances in some downtime and Monday night footballs and, throughout the fall and worked on his mechanics. And Tanner's a worker and, very good athlete and very coachable. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the springtime.
So it felt like from Coach Spurrier said that Dylan Thompson has made a lot of progress. That he said, Spurrier said several times, that if he had to play, he's ready to play.
Yeah, Dylan's come a long way. They all have. Those guys have, and he's gotten a lot of reps.
Yeah.
Especially here, in the last 5-6 weeks. But Dylan's another one that's a hard worker and wants to be a good player, and that's half the battle.
Yeah, did your responsibilities, other than talking to the media, did your responsibilities change at all in these last couple of months?
No.
What does Connor